Well, the races are getting ready. There's a crowd at the gate, and you can hear the excitement in the air and smell it as well. It's gasoline. What better place to spend a Saturday night than a night at the races? Hi, welcome to Around the Town with Marilyn Forbes. Today, we are at Jennerstown Speedway, and we are going to be having so much fun. We're going to learn a little bit about the track, we're going to be talking to a couple drivers, and we're going to be having a lot of fun with the races. So, you know how they usually say, drivers, start your engines. Well, I'm going to say, you viewers, start your watching! Well, folks, to begin, I am now here with Billy, who is a general manager here at the Jennerstown Speedway. Billy, thank you for being on the show.
Hey, thanks for joining us tonight.
And so we are going to learn a little bit of the history of the racetrack before we get down to the nitty-gritty. So tell us about the racetrack. How did it start, and how has it changed over the years?
So the Jennerstown Speedway complex originated in 1929 as the Jennerstown Fairgrounds, real small dirt track in the infield. And it progressed many, many times over the years. The most trivial transition was in the late 80s, early 90s when the Lasky family, Piney Lasky and his son Stanley, they paved Jennerstown Speedway.
Okay.
That's when this place really started to come to life. We have hosted Busch Grand National races, which were on TNN Network from back in the day. It used to be a really big deal. It's still a very big deal, and we're so proud of what we've accomplished here at the Speedway over the last 8 years as our management group. But we've resurrected the history of Jennerstown. The Speedway was actually closed for a duration of 6 years.
I remember that,
which
sure.
is really difficult. When a racetrack closes, it's so uncommon for it to reopen. People try, and it just never works. And we've been very fortunate. We got 3 great owners. We got a wonderful staff. And over the years, we've not restored it to the heydays of NASCAR, but we're doing our best to get us back to that pristine environment that everyone knew and loved at Jennerstown Speedway.
Awesome. And Billy was telling me they actually get really impressive crowds here. You said a couple thousand?
Yeah,
3,000?
so our facility holds 8,680
That's
seats,
amazing.
which is actually a very large venue in southwestern PA. Most racetracks are between the 4,000 to 5,000 range around here. So even when you put 3,000 people, it doesn't look completely full. But our weekly attendance is anywhere between 3,500 and 4,000 people. And we've got some really great sponsors and partners, such as Armstrong Cable. You know, tonight's a buy one, get one free night. We're really excited about that. If you present your Armstrong bill, and it's unique promotional items like that that bring the non-typical race fan to Jennerstown Speedway, and they fall in love with it. We start racing at 6 o'clock. We're usually done around 10 o'clock. It's a 4-hour window. The kids are still awake, and even after the drive home, they have a very enjoyable, family-friendly, affordable night.
Awesome. And now, as far as your schedule and stuff, people can just get that online and see when you're racing and what you're racing. And
yeah, the best thing to do is go to jennerstown.org. You can get our full schedule events, everything we're available. We typically start racing the first weekend in May, providing Mother Nature cooperates. Sometimes it's still snowing up here on the mountain. And this season, we're actually racing through the end of October, and we expect to do the same again next year as well.
Awesome. Okay, well, we're going to chat a little bit more about the cars and the different types of racing they do here, and we're going to go down to the pits, so stay with us, folks. We are now here in the pits, and this is, I guess, as they say, where all the action happens. Okay, speaking of action, what is happening here? Are they getting their cars ready, or what's happening?
So right now, our drivers have just arrived. They're getting ready for what we call hot lap sessions. So they get 2 practice periods. It's about 7 or 8 laps. It lets them get the car acclimated to the weather conditions, the track conditions. Maybe they changed something from last week. We run a 6-division weekly racing program. This car here we're looking at right now is driver Jason Bush. He's from all the way down in Pittsburgh. He runs what's called a modified division. If you notice, there's no fenders on that car. So that's an open wheel car. It's very unique. It's totally different than anything else we run here at Jennerstown. That's actually my old car when I used to race at the Motordrome days.
Really?
Sold it off to a guy out of town, and Jason brought it back. Made tons of changes and improvements, and it's great to see a piece of my history racing at Jennerstown.
Yes, it's resurrected. That's awesome. Now, you had mentioned 6 different classes. You want to tell us real quick what they are?
So we have the Martellus Pharmacy Late Model Division, which is our premier division. It's going to run a 75-lap feature tonight. It's as close as what you're going to see on TV with NASCAR, so it's what really draws the fans. Our next division is the Stoystown Auto Record Modifieds, which we just saw one of those, no fenders.
It's this guy back here?
Yep.
Okay.
We have what's called the One Stop Auto Cell Pro Stock Division, which look exactly like a late model, smaller tire, smaller motor, puts on some of the best racing you'll see of the night. It's actually only the 2nd year for that division. We kind of drew it up on a napkin, said we're going to give it a try, and it's our 2nd biggest division. So in just 2 years, it's really taken off. Then we have the Ron's Collision Center Street Stocks, which look like the old Monte Carlo cars from back in the 80s. So very similar to what people grew up with in the racing community, the old steel body, the heydays of NASCAR. Then we have the Farmers Union Co-op Chargers division, which is very similar to the street stock. Once again, smaller tires, smaller motor, kind of more of a novice class, beginners. And then we have the Somerset Trust Company Fast and Furious 4s, which is a front-wheel drive 4-cylinder class.
Okay.
So a little bit of something for everybody. It's funny when fans come here the first time, they don't know what to expect. They can purchase a souvenir program. It tells them a little bit of information about the cars, how they originated, what motor packages, and the difference between those cars so they can recognize them on the track.
That's, you know what, I'm going to have to get myself one of those.
We'll
so
make sure you get one.
There you go. And now we have about, would you say, 70 plus here today?
Yeah, we're probably at about 73, 74 cars. It varies as it gets later in the season.
Okay, I was
some
just gonna
guys,
ask you that.
they have some financial trouble. There's been a shortage with parts, just like with everything right now in the economy. It's hard to get some stuff. This gentleman here actually drives over, actually the next 3 cars drive over 4.5 hours to race at Jennerstown Speedway. They drive past 2 racetracks within 25 minutes of their house to come compete here on a semi-weekly basis. This 10 car right here, this is one of our Pro Stock divisions. Samantha Osborne, only 20 years old, and only her second ever start this year, visited our Stoney's Victory Lane. So really excited to have Samantha. Wave hi, Samantha. She's a rising star, ladies and gentlemen.
I have to point this out because we didn't point it out before. I just love, and any fan of the movie Cars will know what I'm talking about. Those are actually stickers. There really aren't any lights on any of these cars. I'm sorry, I had to point that out.
Yes.
So you kind of answered another question of mine too. So people actually really do travel a while to get here. I mean,
absolutely.
You do have a lot of local guys. I know that.
Yes. So the core group of our drivers originated between Jennerstown and Motordrome Speedway, Westmoreland County, Somerset, and Fayette County area. And as we started to build our racing program, we've seen drivers from further and further away come and support us. We got a driver here tonight from Virginia. He's never raced here before, seen about us on our races or broadcast on Flow Racing, and he drove over 5.5 hours to come race with us here tonight. So
awesome.
We've run huge events here, special events, different touring series throughout the year. Earlier this summer, we ran an event with the late model division that had over 13 different states represented at Jennerstown.
Wow.
So to say we're on people's map, we really are.
Awesome. And so this is the place to be then, every Saturday night between May and October.
End of September, October, yeah. And, our fan base, they travel anywhere between 45 minutes to an hour. We have some fans that drive 2 hours. If you look out in the parking lot right now, there's campers out there.
Oh, yeah.
These individuals, they bring their campers, they hang out, and they go home on Sunday. So
it's an event.
It's really great.
It is.
Yep.
Okay, well, anything else for us tonight? Because we're going to get ready to do some
No,
racing.
I'm glad for you to be a part of it, and I think we got some surprises in store for you.
Oh, yay. We like surprises. Stay tuned. Oh, boy. Oh, my gosh. Well, folks, as promised, I'm going to be speaking with 2 racers today, and we have with us, first of all, Garry Wiltrout. Garry, thank you. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Well, thank you for having me.
And Garry actually has been with the sport for a couple years. Is that correct?
Yep, 32 years.
32 years. That's amazing. So tell us, how did you get started? What was the first thing that got you out there?
My neighbor, Chucky Kessler, raced, and I hung out with them guys for a while. And 2 of my cousins started racing, and I hung out with them for a while. And just one day, I just got it in my head. I thought, I'm going to try this too, and that might have been a mistake. I've been doing it for a lot of years.
Now, you were telling me earlier, but please share it with our folks here. The first time you got behind that wheel, tell us what that was like, that experience in that first race.
Actually, I thought I was doing really well. We out in the hot laps, and the car, really didn't know what the heck to expect. The first time in the heat race, I thought I passed the car, and I'm like, man, this is pretty good. The first time in the car, about 5 laps into the race, I hear this rumbling, and these guys passed me like I was sitting still, and they scared the living crap out of me. And I remember coming in and telling my brother, I'm like, you know what? I don't think I can do this. These guys are nuts.
But
I guess
you became one of those nutty guys, and here you are.
Guess.
Now, you have a couple of championships under your belt, I understand?
Yes, we do. We've been very fortunate. I'm very fortunate to have the career I've had. I've had so many good people help me throughout the years, and I couldn't do it without my crew chief Rob and Greg Rushenberg. Anybody's helped me throughout the years.
And your sponsors and
sponsors,
everybody?
Megan Ford, Stone and Company. Actually, we just got a new sponsor here a few weeks ago, Marysville Machinery. And as you can see, we've been waiting for his logos to get put on my car, and I'm like, I wish they would have been on for this, but yeah, it's been a very good career.
Now, we were talking also earlier, and I actually posed this question to somebody else prior to Garry, and I got the same answer, so it must be the right one. If you know exactly what it would take to have a championship car and all the money in the world, would you be guaranteed a win?
No.
And why not?
Money can't buy you a win. You got to have good people. You got to surround yourself with good people. Money is nice. You know, you can buy stuff. You know, I'm very fortunate that I've got really good sponsors, been with me forever. Stone, Megan,
And your
Hanson,
crew,
and
you
my
said,
crew.
has been
Oh my
with you
goodness.
for a long, long time.
I mean, we got 116 wins and 6 championships, and my crew chief and Greg Ruschenberg, my tire guy, has been with me for every one of them.
Well, that's great. So you guys kind of, you're like a
Yes.
working family, you kind of already think ahead, knowing what each other is going to be doing. And
Yep.
now, I understand, unfortunately, it's a changing sport, right? Every year it changes a little bit, things get modified. So is that hard to keep up with? Is it hard to keep up with the changes?
It's not for me, but it is for my crew chief.
No.
He's the one that, you know, honestly, I hate to keep saying it, but he's the one that keeps everything together. He is very smart, intelligent, and he keeps up with all the, I mean, every year these chassis, the suspension chains, the spindles, the shocks, just everything. It just, and if you don't keep up with it, you might as well stay home.
So does it, the changes, and I know this probably sounds like a stupid question, but the changes, they make it not only better, but faster?
Yes,
The
they
car-
try to make the cars handle better, you know, be more competitive, and also you know, these chassis manufacturers like to make money every year, so yeah, they and one guy gets it, the other guy's like, oh heck, look at him, he's running better, we better go get it. Well, you know what I mean, that's just the way.
That's the way it goes.
Yep, that's the way it is.
Now, up at Jennerstown there's 6 different divisions that
Yes.
can be run, and you run late model,
Yes.
correct? Okay, have you ever done any of the other divisions along the way, or?
Yes, when I started out in street stock and ran it for maybe 2 years or 3 years, and then I ended up getting a pro stock, which is chassis like this, but they had the smaller motors and
I was just going to ask you.
you know, smaller. Just it wasn't so expensive.
And a little bit faster.
Yes, and then they had the super late models, and then ran them until they combined both classes. So that's where we are now in the late model.
Oh, awesome. Okay, and last question I want to talk to you about. Your own personal heroes, I guess. I know Dale Earnhardt is number 1 for you.
Yep.
Why?
I guess he was the intimidator. You know what I mean? I always looked up to him. But, you know, I don't know.
And you got to meet him too, right?
Yes, I did get to meet him. But you know, just watching him as I was growing up, and you know, he was a racer. You know, but he was also a good guy off the racetrack. The fella done so much for everybody. You know, he was really a good guy.
Well, everybody knew him. Everybody knew the name.
Yep,
Everybody knew
yep.
the face. I mean, my goodness.
But if you looked in your rearview mirror, I can just imagine you look in the rearview mirror and see that black car coming. You know you're going to get roughed
Just move
up.
over. Well, Dale, unfortunately, Dale's been gone for a while. But modern day now, do you have anyone modern day race-wise that you admire?
Yes. You know what? There's so many. But Martin Truex and Kevin Harvick is the 2 guys I root for. But there's just so many nowadays. These underfunded teams with the lower budget, they are up there competing, and it is so cool to see. You know, the lower teams are actually winning and being competitive. It's really good to see.
So, you planning on retiring soon?
Absolutely not. It's so much, you know, until I can't be competitive, or, you know, I mean, competitive is the thing. You know, if I can't be competitive, then, you know, I'd think about being, but, you know, we're still competitive, so.
And you're lucky. You get to do something you love. I
Yes.
mean, my goodness, for over 3 decades.
Yes.
And you have a lot of people that are supporting you and
Oh my
believe in you.
goodness, yes, it's been really cool. Rich and Jones, Paul Agrudo, I mean, good Lord, without them guys, you know, I mean, you know, they put up with us guys for all these years.
And I know you guys have a lot of fun, and you have a lot of
Yes.
followers, and your season runs from spring to late fall, correct?
Yes.
And then in the off time,
Middle
you
of
guys
September.
just live your lives, and as you said, hunt and
Hunt and try
whatever,
to catch
and
up on golf, and yep.
just
Absolutely.
normal guys.
That's it.
Okay, awesome. Well, thanks and good luck. We weren't sure where you were in the points, but
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
can always go up.
That's it. You can always
Okay.
go back too.
Thank
But
you.
You're welcome, dear.
Well, as promised now, I have driver number 2 who's going to be speaking with us a little bit, and it's Scottsdale's own Bryan Shipp. Bryan, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so now we're going to do the same as we did with Garry. Tell us how you got involved in this in the first place.
One day my dad brought home a go-kart for my brother, and it evolved to 2 go-karts, then to cars, and it just progressed from there.
So you started, you were competitive with go-karts first?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's cool.
I ran 4 different classes in go-karts, won in every single one of them, and then jumped to a Charger car for 1 season, then straight into a modified after that, ran them till 2015 was my last year, and then into the late model.
And so 2015 or 2008 was when you started the late model?
16 was my first year.
16 was your first year. So then that's really exciting because in 2017 you won. You actually won your
Yeah.
first race in this car here. Is it the same car?
No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
it was a different car.
Okay.
Yeah, we, you know, it was a big jump. You know, you don't think that, I mean, they're only going, 15 mile an hour, 20 mile an hour. It may not even be that much faster, but they're all around faster around the whole track just because, the tire difference and, a little more power. And it took some time to get used to.
But once you won,
Yeah.
he was telling me that doing something like this, it's, I don't want to say frustrating, but you needed that first win, you said, really, to kind of get you going.
Yeah. I mean, you're in the modified. I won a lot of races, and jumped to a late model, and even going a season and a half without a win. It was you start to question yourself. Should I go back to a modified? Am I cut out for this? And then you get that first win, and confidence is key whenever you're in this. So that helped motivate me a lot.
And I think it's really cool too that we were talking about his crew, and your crew is actually kind of, what do I want to say, related to Garry's crew.
We're kind of it's kind of teammates. Garry's crew chief Rob helps me out tremendously. Rob's kid Aaron, he's 8 years younger than me. He races in the pro stock division in Jennerstown. He's kind of my crew chief. He kind of keeps track of the changes we're making, and it's very technical.
It's, like I said, there's a lot more to it than just jumping in there and hitting the gas.
That's a lot of people that they sit in the stands and they're like, well, just go fast, turn left. It's just, there's a whole lot to it.
Do you think it would be a lot different if you went the other way?
These cars would not go right.
Really?
They're set up specifically to go left.
I did not know that.
If we're coasting around in like the caution laps, if you let go of the steering wheel, the car will start to steer to the left by itself.
Get out. Well, then you don't have to worry about ever, wearing out that left arm muscle. Then
They still get tired. Yeah.
Now your number exactly. This has meaning.
Yep. I recently changed it. 2 years ago. Jimmy Johnson was always my favorite driver in Cup, and I changed it to that. I was 40 before that because my brother raced. He was 04. We just kind of swapped the digits.
That's fine.
And we ran in the same class, so we had to have different numbers.
Oh, okay, sure.
And then he ended up retiring, and he bought a boat. So
That's his new baby?
That's where he throws all his money at.
Now this is about the size of a car that you would see like when you're watching NASCAR Saturday afternoon from,
Yeah.
Dover or wherever. But what is the basic differences between this and what folks see?
I mean, they look very similar, but they're
That's about it?
completely different. The chassis is different, motor's different, body's different. I mean, it's all the same principle. It's all the same technology. They want to be as light as possible and make sure that the driver climbs out whenever they hit the wall.
And they do go faster. the ones,
Yeah.
the other ones go.
I mean, it's track dependent. You know, if they're on a short track, they're probably running about the same speed as we are.
Okay, and that's something too. He just brought that up when we were talking. I never even thought about that. So this could actually go a lot faster than the 120 or so that you guys average.
Yeah.
If it was just on a bigger track.
Yeah, we traveled to Richmond and ran a race 4 years ago, and we calculated with, you know, our gear in the car and the size of the tires, we were going about 145 mile an hour into the corner, which, I mean, 25 mile an hour, it doesn't seem like a big difference, but whenever you're up above 100, it is.
Yeah, I'll betcha. Well, you've been having a pretty good season this year. And something else too I wanted to explain to some folks. He's actually right now second in points, but he hasn't won a race. So, do you want to explain that? You get points just for different things, not necessarily crossing
Yeah,
the finish line first.
you get points for heat races. The heat races, you get points for them. In the feature, you start out, first place gets 50, second 48, you know, just drops by 2 the whole way through the field. Consistency's key. I've been lucky enough to be in the top 5 a lot this year. A bunch of seconds, just can't crack that win column yet.
No, well, hey, you still got some time.
Yeah, couple left.
And I know you have a good crew behind you. Something else too is you actually work 2 jobs to enable you to be able to do this.
Yep.
So sponsors, we could always use those sponsors.
Yeah, I have sponsors on here. They,
And
you
I'm
know,
sure you're so appreciative
yeah,
of them as well. Yes.
they all help me out. You know, Subway, Annie Ann's, Tim Etling, Specklin, which is Gary's car owner, Mid-Atlantic Motors. That's the guy that owns Subway actually owns Mid-Atlantic Motors.
Oh,
He
okay.
sponsors me twice. And Harris Auto Repair and Stone and Company. And my wife, I put her name on the trunk,
Aw.
Tanya Lynn Photography, because she lets me spend all my money.
Good lady you got
Yeah.
there. So you plan on keeping on doing this then, or what are your plans?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you know, I tried to retire, you know, right around 10 years ago. I pulled out for a year. I was fed up, you know, I was struggling, and that lasted about a year and a half, and I put my car back together, and I've been doing it ever since, you know, chasing that feeling of the win, you
There
know.
you go, and it's truly in your blood too.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hey, good luck. I hope for the years to come that things work out great for you, and we'll see you up at Jennerstown.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thanks. I like the pants. They're a look, huh? Pull
This
it.
with one finger, grab
Okay.
this with one finger, and then shove it on hard. There, you're perfect. Good to go. Well, you're me.
Good thing I'm not claustrophobic. I haven't even gotten in there yet. I'm ready. Look at that. Look at that. No. Oh. Do I have a seatbelt?
Yep.
I can't see.
Lean back.
Oh, wait a minute.
There's that one.
Did you see what I was doing? Oh my
This
gosh.
one. Now there should be one between your legs. Pull it up. Right there. Stick it in the middle of those. Oh, I think you're sitting on
Oh, I see, like this.
I don't think she does.
What?
You need help on that. This is different. Happy birthday.
Now, are you good?
I'm good.
You're
I
going to
put-
go out after the Chargers. So just pull down there. Go around them 4 cylinders.
Oh boy! Okay. didn't cry. I didn't even close my eyes. That was awesome. I can't see.
Pull this one right here.
Okay.
There you go.
It was awesome. Oh my gosh. I didn't close my eyes. I didn't cry. And about how fast were we going?
I would say we was going close to 100 anyhow.
Close to 100. And I think we won. I saw the flag. So.
Yeah, you were the first one that crossed.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
T-shirt top, courtesy of Armstrong against Doolittle. Make some noise. Who wants a T-shirt? Who wants a T-shirt? That goes way up in the bandstand. Who wants a T-shirt? Who wants a T-shirt? Let's go down there. He's over here in turn number 4. You guys need a T-shirt. Who wants a T-shirt over here in turn 4? Let's try this again. There's one way up there. Our last T-shirt on to the right from Armstrong. Zoo Internet. Thank you so much to Armstrong for launching the T-shirts. Our friend from Armstrong waving the green flag. All right, fans, we're going to invite Marilyn from Armstrong to give us the most famous words in motorsports.
I've been waiting my whole life to say this. Drivers, start your engine! Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed the show. I can honestly say I have had a blast here spending this Saturday night at Jennerstown Speedway. You know, I'll tell you something that's really cool is sitting here listening to the drivers and their information. I heard a lot of drivers from Connellsville, Mount Pleasant, Scottsdale, Acme. So chances are, folks, if you do decide to come and spend an evening here, you're going to get to cheer on one of your very own hometown racers. So again, I hope you enjoyed the show. And remember, keep smiling, keep dreaming, and keep watching.